Hey there, paper geeks and glitter nerds. Another week has passed and it's time for another card. And this one I've been looking forward to sharing with you. I participated in a scrap marathon online and I chose the sketch you just saw. And I needed a card for my little brother. He's turning 11 and of course he'll be needing a very magical card because I'm gifting him Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone, the illustrated edition. And my father has promised to read it out loud to him, so I hope to turn him into a geek. Hopefully. Well, you always got hope, don't you? So I pulled together a whole lot of lawn fawn stamps, mixing and matching. I'm not going to be able to put all of them on the card because of the way the sketch is made, but I'm going to try very hard. Now this video is maybe a bit different from normally. I do a lot of testing because I didn't have that much of a plan before starting this. I'm stamping out everything, I'm coloring it, and then I try to follow the sketch. So you'll see that, and here I make a terrible mistake. Why did I mask it off and not take the mask off? But I found a solution to the problem without having to restamp the book. This video, I know, is very long, and I did try to speed up as many parts as I could without you losing the cohesion of the project. So I hope you'll bear with me. It also contains a few flaws that I corrected off screen, and I'm gonna tell you about it when we get to it. When I did redid the things that went wrong, it was in the middle of the night and I couldn't find the cord for my camera, and I just wanted to fix it, and I wasn't even sure it was gonna be fixable. But we'll get to that later. Here I'm gonna magically make a broom out of this wand. Since I don't have a broom big enough in any stamp set, I drew out a template, and I'm gonna use my Copic multiliners to draw it in. First, of course, I'm going to use a pencil because I'm not that sure of my own drawing skills, but I do think it turned out okay. I'm thinking I'll leave you here, and I'll see you after the coloring, since, like I said in the previous video, I'm not the greatest colorist. I'm not comfortable teaching anyone what to do yet. So without further ado, let's jump to the music. with the coloring done, let's jump back to the sketch. I put it here so you can see it. I don't have any star dies, so I pulled this one out of a bag I have from Merlin's beard, I don't know when. And I'm gonna do a little trick where I use a ruler and I use the little lines inside the ruler to make one star smaller than the other. It's a neat trick. If you don't have what you need precisely, you can do this. I know you can. And after this, I'm gonna cut it out, and then we're gonna move on with the sketch. All done, and let's bring out some paper. I'm tempted to call it pattern paper, but it's more of a textured paper. I bought it in these mixed packs years ago in Søstrene Grene, and this vellum I was gifted. It came in like a bazillion little sheets, so I just use it for cutting things for the background. I don't think it's heat resistant, so that's why I chose it for this project. But maybe I should have picked a bigger size of the more expensive vellum to cut out the circle for the sketch, because I do think I'm missing a bit more space maybe if I wanted more elements, but the card works out, but that could have been useful maybe. And now I'm just gonna do a dry run of all the elements to see if I can fit everything and how it will look, if there are any elements I need to add. Now for one of the banners in the background, I am gonna make a scarf with the Gryffindor colors. And this yellow wasn't quite yellow enough for me, so I'm just gonna help it along with a little bit of alcohol coloring. And it worked out great. The texture of the cardstock, both this one and the red one, was very good for the scarf. Very nice. And I did debate for a bit how to tackle this. But it turned out okay. I'm making the strips 1 centimeter wide. I'm just cutting the red piece too. And that one actually had perfect color, in my opinion. Of course, so I didn't measure the first space since I'm gonna snip it to make what are they're not called tassels, are they? Well, the frilly end of the scarf. So I wanted it just on. I was just eyeballing that one, but every other stripe is going to be matching in distance. That's why I use the same yellow stripe for spacing every time. Now I'm not a Gryffindor person myself. I am a Ravenclaw. But since I don't know where my brother would fit in the Harry Potter universe yet, I just wanted to put Harry's scarf on the card. I'm just bringing the sketch back in so you can see. Now I have one of the strips in the background, I have the circle, I have 2 stars, so I'm needing one more strip. And then the basis of the card sketch should be down. I'm just doing yet another dry run with the potions and the letters and everything. And actually, the day after I made this card, I went to a friend's house and we watched all 8 movies in 2 days, and made some Harry Potter food. Actually, she had just gotten the cookbook. It was very nice. But he doesn't actually wear the hat when he takes his flying lessons in the first film. I don't know if he's wearing it in the book though, because it's been a while since I read it. I should maybe catch up. Another one for the to-do list, you know? And I'm gonna speed this part up a whole lot because you really don't need to see that. And this gives the card a nice bit of texture actually. They really wanted to curl, like you see here. I tried to get them a bit more straight, but I still wanted that texture that was very, very nice. I might do that again if I'm doing a card for someone who has a Harry Potter birthday party or something, maybe. So here I am working on the second strip. I'm gonna cut out this die. It says congratulations in Danish. It's from Simple and Basic. Really love this die. And I'm keeping with this glittery gold. I have been wondering if I should have picked a more shiny gold instead, but I think it worked. I'm gonna cut 2 so that I can make a longer strip. Most of it will be hidden behind everything else, but it's just nice to have. And a bit of the T on one of them is actually missing. And here's the toothpick trick. I keep coming back to it. It's actually quite useful for very, very tiny things. I should have just remembered that I do have the double-sided sticky stuff that actually die cuts, and I always forget. It's so annoying. I have to get better at remembering that. Here you can really see that the T is missing something, but I figured that it was gonna be hidden under the stars or something, so it wouldn't be so very visible. I'm still learning to use this trimmer, but I am loving it so far. And another dry run. I was so excited to get this unicorn on there. You know, how often do you make a unicorn card for a boy? I'm just saying. I thought it would be so fun. But you've already seen the thumbnail and the picture at the beginning of this video. So, I wouldn't call it a spoiler that the unicorn didn't make it, unfortunately. I have it for another project at some point. And I figured the strip was going to have to be a little bit longer, so I just die cut the end of the congratulations. Trying to space it right. Since I'm missing the end of the T, I had to guess a little bit, but I think I managed. That's just my boyfriend who is refilling my my iced tea. Sorry. He's very nice about keeping me hydrated in the heat. I have a tendency to forget, actually. Now I know technically there's not a book with a face in this particular movie. Although Harry does go to the forbidden section of the library and open a book with a face in it, but I just thought it fit perfectly, and then I didn't have to mask off the face for once. And here I had to give in. The star was far too big, so I am taking the biggest one and I'm making it a lot smaller. Then I can keep the outline of the star and use it for something else. That's also why I'm gonna use a knife and cut it out, not cut it out with the scissors. Now that is much better, don't you think? So now the assembly begins. And I'm gonna use quite a lot of foam tape for this. I wanted this card to be an experience for a 11-year-old. I'm uncertain whether he knows how much I put into these cards, but I do, and that's what's important, I guess. Now I'm gonna put one star behind and one in front of the vellum, just to dial down a bit of the gold, even though I do think it was the right choice with gold. That is the middle of the Gryffindor house. Now every house has a medal, typical for them. In Gryffindor it's gold. You also see it in their colors. They are also represented by an element. I believe the Gryffindor one is air, but I might be mistaken. It's been some time since I read the lore on this particular subject. I actually don't know that many Gryffindors. I mostly know Ravenclaws and Hufflepuffs. My boyfriend's a Hufflepuff, actually. And here I am beginning to see that the unicorn will not make it. There's no room for it. And it's far too much white on the card to put 3 envelopes, the open letter and the unicorn. So the open letter is actually not gonna make it on the card either. Now this was a very, very fun card to make. I love making these. It's just very rare I have the opportunity to do something like this, because mostly I make cards for family. And well, then just not as invested in. I'm tempted to call it popular culture, but then again, isn't it a bit geeky? I'm over 30 and I still love watching and reading Harry Potter. Now I had this plan that I wanted to make the seal on the envelopes, and you just saw the Nova drop I was planning to use. But I think I'm gonna do it as one of the last things, putting it on, and you're gonna see that it's all wrong. I tried a few different tactics with the Nova drops, but nothing really seemed to work right. I eventually had to peel off all 3 letters, redo them, and stick them on again with a different medium. It's called liquid pearls. I have that one in red, and it actually gave a bit of shimmer to the red, which I thought was very nice for the seal. And it didn't self-level, and that's why I think it looked better. It's not actually a problem with Nova drops, but it is for this exact technique where it has to look like a seal. So, but that part I didn't film. I'm just telling you. If you want something that actually looks like wax seal, I don't think you can get that effect with the Nuvo drop. I did also try putting the end of a pin into the liquid Nuvo drop and let it sit, but then the drop just came off. It preferred sticking to the pin than to the paper, so that was a bust too. But the liquid pearls worked wonders, in my opinion. Now it's time to attach the panel. Now, I don't know why I picked this dark blue for the background, but I do think it works very well with the gold and red. It really makes the images stand out. Even the book, which is brown. It's funny. Now here they come, the drops. And also because I forgot to mask off the heart on the envelopes, I had to make the drop very big to cover it. Now I remembered to mask it on the second batch I made, and that worked out much better. I don't know if you have this problem, but especially this green one, it does peaks and it's so annoying. They will not level right. Now I've had these Nuvos in my bra for at least 3 hours, so they are not cold, that's not why. This glow one actually worked perfect. It leveled perfectly. And also the red one. I don't know why the green one doesn't work right. Tell me if you know why. Off screen I also covered the yellow potion in the glow-in-the-dark Nuvo, and then the white part of the bottle and the green potion bottle in its entirety in glossy accents, as well as Harry's glasses. I just completely forgot while I was making this video, but I did remember, so I hope the recipient will love the glow-in-the-dark details. So here comes a picture of the finished card where you see the change I did in the envelopes. They don't look that great on picture, but I do love them in real life. Now I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you'll be back next week. But until then, I hope you'll be having a good day, evening or night.